Good afternoon everybody, it's just coming up to 3 o'clock, so we're just going to wait a couple more minutes for a few more people to join, but welcome, so we'll just be with you in a minute. We'll give it a couple more minutes until people arrive.
You've got a few hellos. You've got Sam Boss.
Excellent.
Saying hello, chef.
Hi Sam.
A few waves on there. A go Duncan from Linny.
No, of course, I thought Linny might be there.
A wave from Stace and a wave from ISS.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Okay, we've got quite a few people on, have we?
Thought you didn't want me to tell you how many people
We've
are
got a few
watching.
people. I know you didn't want me to say, you wanted to tell me. But
Yeah, we've got 18 at the minute. We're just going up.
Excellent.
Sarah Sherwood wants to know, where's your hat at?
Where's my hat? I'm cooking from home. I haven't got my safety shoes on either.
I think she means your flat cap, chef.
Oh, my flat cap is actually upstairs. It is upstairs. I left it out, but I didn't bring it down, so I was going to wear it.
We've had a nice cooker hood.
Nice cooker hood. Oh dear.
We're on bang on 3 o'clock by my watch.
All right then. Okay. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Home Firth. Thank you very much for Anne's masterclass next week. It's a hard act to follow, but I'll certainly try and do my best. Just introduce my lovely assistant, whether she'll let us go on camera. Come here. Thank you very much. So that's my lovely assistant for the day. There we go. She's going to be recording us and prompting and directing and being a normal self, really. Okay. So, okay. So what we've got for you today in ISS Education, it's actually Green Fingers promotion that we normally do in our schools. Normally we have people like Chris Collins, the gardener, come up to us. He should have been here next week, I believe it is, for 2 days growing with some of our kids. So what we've had to do this year, because of everything, is we've took it virtual. So it mixed in quite nicely that I come on this week. So the dishes that I'm going to do is a little bit of an Indian Tandoori paneer wrap. And as you can see in front of me, I've got lots of nice vegetables and some of the ingredients that our kids would and are getting in the schools to actually grow their own. So in partnership with ISS Innocent and Chris Collins, we're going to be doing some growing, and then as soon as we get out of all this, I'm sure Chris will be straight up here, and then we'll be going around the schools supporting the children in that way. So like I said, we're going to do a Tandoori paneer wrap this afternoon, using all the ingredients that you see in front of us. It's one of our favourite dishes that we have here. Up until 3 years ago, I was unsure what paneer was, but I was introduced to it, and now it's one of my favourite Indian dishes when we go out, or of course when we use it at home. For those that don't know, this is Paneer Cheese. It's a little bit like a halloumi. All it is milk and split with lemon and then pressed. There is recipes out there to make it. Mowgli do a really nice recipe for it, but it is just easier to actually buy it as well. You can get it in most supermarkets. So that's what we're going to be using as our protein today. But the good thing about this dish as well, it's very, very easy to produce. I'm hoping that's going to be the case today. But also it's very easy to change. We're going to do it as a wrap today with some nice mushroom rice. But you can also do it as a standalone curry, add a few more dishes on there, side dishes to go with it. And it can also be changed to have chicken instead of the paneer, or completely vegetarian. And you can make it completely plant-based or vegan, given a couple of tweaks in there as well, changing the rice and things like that out there. So you can make it a wide range with very similar ingredients, or taking things out. Okay, so to start with, what we're going to do is I'm just going to stick some rice on. I don't think you need to follow me quite so on that. So what I'm going to do is put some rice on to boil.
Simon Price would like to know if we can get paneer in the supermarkets.
You can get paneer in the supermarkets, depending on where you live. It's not so frequent in some of the supermarkets, like Barnsley, for example. You can't get it in there, but around the sort of area where we live in Home Firth, Leeds, Sheffield, that sort of thing, it's more than widely available. So it is quite easy to get hold of. Or you can do what I did, which is order it online. Obviously with COVID and things, so we've managed to order some of it in from a local supplier. Okay, so it's a very, very simple, easy dish to prepare, and it's also very versatile in the sense of you can make it with predominantly whatever you've got left in the fridge, or if you want to buy it. So it can be a bit of a ready, steady cook type tea, when you can put in literally anything that you still have available. What we are putting into it today is we're going to put some peppers, some courgettes. We're not going to put the mushrooms into this because we've got the mushroom rice, but normally if we weren't having the mushroom rice with it, we would, if we was having it as the curry itself, we'd actually put mushrooms in there. So that's that. And then of course there's also bits and bats left over for your pets as well, so I'm sure our guinea pigs will be enjoying that a bit later on.
Yummy. Lynn says you can get a big block of paneer from Costco, and I did not know that.
Oh, that's excellent. So I'm sure what we'll do is we'll swap a big block of paneer for obviously when Lynn knocks on the door in about an hour's time to actually pick a teal.
She'll be round.
I'm sure she will be.
So in our paneer wrap we've got obviously paneer, peppers, courgette and anything else?
We're going to put some diced onion in there, and that's about it.
Sounds healthy and colourful.
Yeah. So I mean, it's also good as well to do as a big curry. If you prep it up like this, ideally to marinate it for a little bit in the tandoori spices that we've got here. So it's good to actually make up for a party a bit later on. And I know it's something again that we sort of do, and then you can have everything prepped up and it's easy to prepare. So just have a little bit of the green pepper in there as well. I'm not going to put too much of the green pepper because I've got the green going from the courgette and we've got enough peppers in there. You can do it in whatever shape or sizes you'd like to do. I'm doing it roughly chopped there. I'm sort of doing it in all equal sizes to when I chop up the paneer as well.
Stacey says that it even sounds nice to her, and we know that.
My word.
We do know that Stacey's quite a picky eater.
Yeah, we certainly do. If Stacey would try it, then it must be all right. And then also within here, again, I'm going to be putting some onions into the mushroom rice, but just to add an extra little bit in there, I'm just going to put a couple from behind my magic screen here. A couple of those onions in there as well. So it is quite as simple as that. You could really take some time and chop it up into nice sizes. So it's one that you can sort of make a little bit more fancy if you like. But rough chop when you're busy is the way forward. So what we're going to do. So this is a tandoori mix. This is something that is shop bought. Again, you can get very widely from most supermarkets and probably in great big vats from places like Costco. You can also do it with the dried herbs if you like, but I've been on a couple of Indian cooking courses and sometimes the pastes are absolutely fantastic. You can get some good ones out there now, so instead of learning the fine art, which very few people do, then you can just use this and it works exactly the same every single time. And like I said, very easy.
Is it going to be spicy?
It's not too spicy, but what we've also got as well for a little bit later on, I've put a couple of sides on here that I would do for a curry. So what I've got here is a tomato, an onion, little salad, little Indian salad, and I've put a little bit of chilli in that and coriander, squeezed the lime juice. So that's got a little bit of heat to it as well, and of course you can make it as fiery as you like. And then for the other side of it, we've got a little bit of rayata in there, which is mint, yoghurt, cucumber, a little bit of mint sauce in there, and again some chopped coriander, squeeze a lemon juice. So that's just nice and refreshing, and of course if it becomes too hot, it will also help cool that down as well.
Simon's just asked about the seeds.
The seeds, yes. Yeah. So as part of the Green Fingers Week, we give our children some seeds to help them and to promote growing in our schools. So what we do is we provide them with a selection of seeds. And if you go onto the Feed Hungry Minds website, there's actually Chris Collins on there introducing it this year for us, and also some different activities to do as well. So it's to promote where our food comes from. So there's the seeds, and then what I'm going to cook with is the end result. So it's about the whole journey of different food items.
We've got a question on here as well about what is your favourite dish from the curry house?
From the curry house, my favourite dish. I'd have to say it's strongly going towards something very similar to what I'm doing today, or sort of. I don't like it too spicy, but I like trying new things all the time. Really, I don't particularly have one favourite. I'll be honest, this is probably one of my favourites. I also like the chicken version of this, so yeah.
Sounds nice. So we like flavour as well as spice in this house.
We certainly do. We certainly do. So ideally, what you'd do is you'd leave that a little, sort of about an hour, because paneer is also really good at soaking up flavours. So that really would enhance that flavour within there. But even so, it is still absolutely fine to do it that way. So then all you need to do is stick it into a tray, ideally a little bit bigger, and then just stick it in the oven to roast.
That's going straight in the oven?
That's going straight in the oven. You can also do it on the hob top. You'll see, because there's also recipes available as well, you will see that it's got yoghurt in it. A little tip for you, I put the yoghurt halfway through the cooking. Sometimes if you cook it on the top, you can do it in a frying pan or do it in the oven. If you put the yoghurt in to start with, it splits out. So if you actually put the yoghurt in halfway through the cooking, it actually then becomes really, really creamy and saucy. It's quite nice doing it that way, so that's a tip for you. Okay, so that goes in there. How are we doing on time?
We're good. Not doing bad at all.
Makes a change for me. Okay, so we've got the rice that's on there. That's just about to come to the boil, so that's cooking away while we're doing this. So I think what we need to do next time is start on the rice. I think I'm in that position. Is there any more questions or anything at the moment?
No, but Simon says lovely kitchen.
I know. Not that I haven't finished any of it off at the last minute, as per our conversation. And everything's still standing as well, so that's always a bonus.
And Bob Newall says, looks like we need a bigger boat. I mean pan.
Yes, that is absolutely the truth. I don't know where I get that from.
We do need to invest in some new pans. Definitely. If anyone's got any recommendations on what pans we need to purchase, which ones are the best, please feel free to put your comments on what we need to buy.
But if they're expensive ones, keep your comments to yourselves.
So we're doing mushroom rice
Right,
next.
so we're going to get ready for the mushroom rice now. So what we need to do is just roughly, but quite smallly, chop up some white onion. We don't need too much, just so I don't overface the next pan as well as this one.
You can overface it all you want, because I'm imagining this is our tea. So
It certainly is our tea. It certainly is our tea. And you'd be surprised how much, to say there's only two of us, how much this is normal. I'm dumbing it down just for the camera.
So what's going in this mushroom rice then, please?
So in the mushroom rice, we've got these chopped onions, which I'm just going to fry off in a moment in a little bit of oil, which I'll just have that pan.
Oh, Jane Senior says, look at Pro Cook pans, amazing value.
Excellent, thank you. We'll certainly have a look at those.
We definitely will. New pans to go with the new kitchen.
Yes. So just put a little bit of oil in there.
We're going to fry them. We're frying them quite lightly, though.
Just lightly frying them in there. It's sort of medium heat. They don't need to go sort of translucent, but they don't sort of need to fry off as well. So somewhere in between.
Very nice.
Just to keep them there. So what you're trying to do, soften them slightly, because it will all merge into one, but you don't want to burn them either. So they need to be colourless, but you don't need to spend too much time in there. So just while they're coming up on there, what we can do now is we can get ready for the rest. So what we can do is get ready for the next few steps. So slicing a few mushrooms up.
I love mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms though, because I know that there are a few picky eaters out there, do you think you could leave them out? Would it affect the...
You could leave them out, but the good thing I find about sort of Indian cookery, you're only limited by your own imagination. If you get sort of the basic right of dishes, then you can sort of add and take away whatever you like. If you go into the Indian, they do lemon rice, they do all sorts of different weird and wonderful ones. So it's completely up to yourself what you put in. But yes, of course you can leave the mushrooms out. Is the shorter version of that answer.
They do add a lot of flavour as well.
They do add a lot of flavour, and I mean, me personally, again, it's my favourite rice dish. side dish to go with this.
Lexi says, what else could you put in the rice, please?
What else can you put in the rice? Again, absolutely anything. You could just go with some nice lemon rice. What's the other ones that we have? My mind has gone completely blank. What we normally have now? We normally have sort of like a spicy rice as well.
Oh, we do Mexican rice.
Yeah. So from an India point of view, it's just the spices that are in there. You can make it hot if you so desire. You could literally just have peppers through there. So an Indian take on sort of like a Chinese fried rice, but again using vegetables. See, again, just the courgettes, the peppers that we've got here, some red onions. Do it exactly the same way as this, and then just fry the rice off afterwards. And then plenty of chopped coriander into it afterwards. It just gives it a nice splash of colour and flavour as well.
Somebody's asked if you use the stalks from the mushrooms in your rice.
I do. Even though I've just pushed them to one side there, I am going to put them in.
Waste not, want not.
Waste not, want not.
Have you ever made sag paneer?
Sag paneer? Yes, we have. Yes, we have. One of our other favourites is sagaloo as well. So potato curry with spinach.
How are they looking?
They're looking absolutely fine. So just to show you, they get a little bit of colour, but they're cooking off nicely and smell lovely already. Just with that being onions.
They do smell nice.
They do smell very nice. It's a scratch your vision.
Diane Gascoigne says, do you do delivery service?
Do we do delivery services? No, but we do takeout service. I'm just not telling you the address.
When it's all over, you can come for tea, Di.
Yeah, when it is all over.
Why not? So we've got mushrooms and onions in his rice.
We have indeed.
I'm assuming you're going to spice it in some way?
We're going to spice it up, yeah. So to do this mushroom rice, what we're going to do is when those onions are ready, we're going to put in there, we're going to put some cumin seeds and just fry them off. That's going to go in next. Then we'll stick the mushrooms in there to start frying off. And then just before we start adding the rice, we're going to put a little bit of turmeric in there as well. So again, that'll give it another element of a colour. So
the cumin seeds, do you have to grind them down or anything, or can they just go in whole?
Not when you fry it like this, no. You can have ground cumin, but they're actually very nice like that as well. So they do go soft when you fry them. And if there's a little bit of a bite in there, it's same texture sort of wild rice. So occasionally we'll get that little bit of a crunch. But it's not unpleasant crunch, if you like. If you like uncooked rice, it's not like that at all.
Sarah Lazenby would like to know if you can freeze this if you have leftovers.
I don't know, we've never had leftovers, have we? We've never tried it. Yes, I believe that you could do, yeah.
I wonder if the...
But what I would suggest is if you need to freeze it down without the yoghurt in there. Just the spice mix in there, it should freeze okay. The pepper certainly would be fine. So what we've got there, so again, like I said, just putting a sprinkling of cumin seeds in there and fry those off.
Lovely.
So that's going in there.
Is the rice going to be spicy? Or is it just flavoursome?
No, it's just flavoursome. It's got a little bit of turmeric in there, it's got the cumin, but it's purely for sort of layers of flavour in there. And then because tandoori is slightly spicy, you've got that different element. You don't want spicy and then spicy. You've got a nice range of different flavours in there. But again, if you're having it as a curry, or you can wrap it all up a bit like an Indian burrito. You could add all this into one, just wrap it all up and you've got like an Indian burrito as well. We've done that before for sort of lunch. What we've also got as well is, I am going to add some peas into this one as well. Again, for a bit of splash of colour. But of course the three hero ingredients we've got on this year's promotion is we've got cress. Funnily enough, I can get toilet rolls from the supermarket, but no cress. That was a strange thing. And then tomatoes and peas as well in there with the seeds. So what I've tried to do is incorporate the seeds that we're giving out this year with that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to add a little bit of that into this dish.
Jackie Cooper's being cheeky and she says Lorna doesn't do leftovers.
No, she doesn't do leftovers. That's why I didn't know if you could freeze it.
I think that's a bit rude.
So
I'm coming over
here. I did ask for an extra hot top on that side of the kitchen, but it was denied.
Just frying those off.
So just frying those off gently there now. So they'll just start breaking down, and I really wish you could all smell.
Someone's just put that actually. I don't remember who put it, but someone's just. I think it was Simon Price. It must smell lovely. The neighbours will be jealous.
We spend a lot of time, don't we, with the neighbours, knowing when we're having barbecues and things.
The neighbours do get very jealous. So you've got your paneer in the oven. How long is that going to take in there?
It takes about 20 minutes. What you'll see is as well that it actually multiplies when you put it in our oven as well. So one dish becomes two. So what I did was it would take a little bit longer than what we've got. So I did start an extra batch purely because we're very hungry in the house. So
here's one I made earlier.
Yeah, here's one we made earlier as well. But it will be exactly the same as when it is. So those mushrooms just coming down a little bit. As far as healthy goes, I'll try and make it as healthy as possible, but because it's a sort of a fried rice, you do need to put a little bit of oil in there just to coat everything afterwards. So, and that's why I use that as well, because it limits the oil that I put in there. It means I've got sort of complete control over how much oil is going in there.
James asked what temperature the oven is on.
The oven is on 175, I believe. Is that correct?
It is correct.
Thank you. But I am going to sort of turn it down now because I don't want that other one to go too far. So I'm going to turn that down a little bit. So thank you very much, Jane, for asking. That just reminded me. So I'll just tidy up as I go.
Tidy, chef.
Tidy, chef. Tidy, chef. Right. So, just waiting for those a little bit. Teaspoon.
And you made a rice earlier as well, didn't you?
I did make the rice, but this one should be really ready. I mean, I could have just done that one, and it'd have been very crunchy. But also as well, if you do some rice, again, I'll put a little bit of lemon in there as well, just to flavour it with a little bit of salt. Sometimes I put cardamom pods in there as well, just to give it that extra layer of flavour.
Yummy.
As well.
Oh, that's looking gorgeous.
Yeah.
I wish you could smell it, everybody. It does smell really nice.
So that's that there. So if you just stay there for a second, I'll just get it 2 minutes.
So far, onions, mushrooms, because we've got people joining all the time. Onions, mushrooms, cumin seeds, peas are going in now.
Peas are going in there now. So, and that's just to warm them through. So you don't want to cook them too much. You don't want them to start going grey. You're looking for those flecks of lovely green colour to go in there as well.
How come you've not put the turmeric in straight away with the...
Because I don't want it to cook out too much. That's
okay.
in there. It needs to go at the last minute just to cook slightly. I don't want it to burn because it can go very, very bitter then. So it's there for a flavouring. If I put it in too early, it will sort of go a bit bitter.
It's going to add a nice colour to it as well.
It's going to add a lovely colour to it as well. So it's all about the timing. So I don't want to put the peas in too early, and I don't want to put the turmeric in too early as well. You could throw it all in a pan, and then it starts stewing rather than cooking, so you want that little bit of flavour, depth of flavours of everything coming through.
Simon has said, will you be having a Cobra beer with this later, chef?
Unfortunately not. I'm on call for any moment I may have to drive, so unfortunately I'll be having a Beck's Blue after I've done this, and then I shall be calling on everybody to join us for something stronger, hopefully in a couple of weeks' time.
He's been banned from the beer for a couple of weeks.
Banned from the beer for a couple of weeks.
Just until baby arrives.
Have we shown the team the elephant in the room?
I haven't.
Metaphorically speaking.
We'll go back and have a look. So we had a beautiful baby shower yesterday. Thank you to everyone that did that. So we've got our little elephant here from Sarah Sherwood's cake.
And no, we haven't got through the cake yet.
It was a huge cake. There's
only 2 of us.
We've had a few more join us. We've got the bear on now. I can see the bear. I can see Alicia Newall's just joined us.
Fashionably late.
Fashionably late as ever. So when you've done your rice, are you adding it to the pan hot?
It's hot. So I did cook it off just before we started, and that's why I've left it on there with the lid on. Again, any of the moisture that's still in the rice is steamed off, and it actually makes it a little bit more nice and fluffy as well. So that is still hot, and then of course we just work this way through.
Bob Newell says that looks like a meal in itself. Actually, it does, doesn't it?
It does.
Maybe you could put a bit of chicken through that and you've got yourself a nice bit like a biryani.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, biryani is traditionally sort of cooked slowly with all the spices in the oven, but there's nothing to say you can't do a quick version of this. I've also done this with a sort of a beef keema mix, and then mix the rice in. So it looks very similar to this, and you've got chunks, little mince dice in there.
That's nice. It's getting hot in this kitchen now.
It certainly is getting hot in this kitchen.
Should have opened the windows.
There we go. So that's that ready. I'm just going to turn this...
that was nice and easy, actually.
Yeah.
That's your rice done then?
That's my second batch of rice done, but what I am going to do is I'm going to refresh this one for later.
Do you know what's amazing? That usually when you cook me this tea, it takes you a couple of hours, but today you're managing to do it in about, what, 20-25 minutes?
Well, I invite everybody to do it every time I'm cooking. Then.
No excuses now next time I'm starving hungry. I know how fast you can do this now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. so that's on that there. Just going to turn the gas off there, and that's already there. I'm just going to refresh the rice in there. Because again, if you've got rice cooked off from any other dish that you've got, all these items could be in the fridge, so you open up, you've got some rice you need to use up. If you obviously refresh it straight away, for sort of, you don't want to give yourself any sort of food poisoning, certainly not at the minute as well, but never really.
Someone's just asked, what brand of spice paste did you use? That's a good question.
It's Knorr. It's Knorr, and you can again get it in most supermarkets. Personally, I would always go for a named one. Sometimes you can get the unnamed ones that are technically the same, but I always go for name brands. Sometimes it's better to go for the name brands. You do sort of pay for what you get. You can get different ones, but that is a really, really good one. And it's what a lot of caterers actually use as well. So it's really good, never fails, fingers crossed in a minute. Yeah, and that's it.
At what point does your yoghurt go in?
What point does the yoghurt go in? I'm going to put, well, halfway through cooking, but what I did do...
Ooh.
I'm just going to add a splash more into that now.
This is looking nice. So you're just going to stir a bit of yoghurt through that?
Yeah, so we stir a little bit in through there, and then what it does is, as well, there's all that looks like it's sort of catching on the bottom. It doesn't, it all comes back and it all comes off.
Oh, it looks caramelised flavour. I wish you could smell it. Alicia's just said, I wish I was still there.
Yeah,
you do,
wow,
Alicia.
yeah. It'll all be gone by the time you come back as well, sorry.
Oh,
so
it smells amazing.
So you just mix in that, and then it becomes very nice and saucy as well. And if you want, you could just add a little bit more, get a clean spoon, and we'll just add some more into that as well.
Josephine says, looks yummy, dancing come in the Midlands for a social distance drop-off. You're welcome, Josephine. Anytime. Well, not at the minute. You can stand on the drive.
You can stand 2 metres away and watch me eat it. That's fine.
Stace says, it looked right nice.
Right nice.
Right nice, does it, Stace?
I'll put me a bit of a different voice on today so people can understand.
Got his posh voice on.
I've got my big boy voice on. So that's that ready. So that's warming through. That's brilliant. So
this looks so nice. It's so colourful as well. Does look really colourful.
I mean, it's a good easy dish to make when people come round, because you've got all those different colours. You've got the reds, the greens, and the peppers and the courgettes, and then you've got the flecks of colour and the yellow from inside.
Jane Senior says, my mouth's dribbling. So what we're doing next then? So everything looks like it's done to me.
Everything's pretty much done. I think we're just actually going over a little bit over time, but I'm not too sure that people will be too concerned. So what we've got is, we've got our wraps here.
He's cheated and bought wraps.
I've cheated and bought wraps, but the flatbreads that have been made a couple of times, Mr. Bridge started it off, you can use those. You can also make your own chapatis, very, very easy. All that is gram flour and either water, or you can put a bit of ghee in there. We've made that quite easy, or very easily. Again, using up all the ingredients that we've got here, with a bit of flour, you can make naan breads, a little bit of yeast. They prove up lovely. You can also do this on the barbecue. If you dice everything up, stick it onto skewers, you can then do that on the barbie, make your own flatbreads and that. You've got outside dining as well. It's very, very versatile. I forgot to say that earlier on. That's versatile.
Bob Newell would like to know, is there going to be any coriander?
Is there going to be any coriander? I've oodles of coriander.
Dun, dun, dun.
So what we're going to do, and that we put this through at the last minute. Again, we don't want it to go off colour. So
I love coriander. A lot of people don't like it though, do they? Because it's quite an acquired
yeah, some people
taste.
say it tastes of soap. I have heard that before, but I'm not one of them, so I like that.
Anne said, food required, we'll swap for a cupcake. Usually, I would say that'd be great, but all that cake that we got yesterday,
Yeah,
and video did make me want cupcakes.
it did. It did me too. It did me too. Right, okay. So,
Simon Price says, cheers both, great demo, but he's got a dash.
alright, thanks very much, Simon. I'll speak to you soon.
I think
Right,
we've just got to wrap and roll now, haven't we?
we are indeed. I'm putting that on there so we don't burn meat as worked up. So we're going to put that on there. And then we've got that on there. So what I'm also going to do is just quickly plate up.
Ooh, that's a tiny portion of rice right
It
there.
is, yeah, it's only for demonstration purposes.
Not my portion.
We're just going to grab the spoon and the pan whenever we've got.
Jackie's jumped off to go on a call as well. But she says, love to both.
Sorry, just running a little bit late. So that's that on there. So, nice and simple.
I'm so excited to eat this.
With the paneer. Like I said, you can put the rice down the centre there. You could put some mixed leaves down the centre, turn it into a burrito in that sense. Plenty of the vegetables on there.
Yum. Is there a reason you're not putting the rice in there, just having it on the side?
I'm just having the rice in there just for presentation purposes today, to be honest. Just so it doesn't go.
And could you fill it with these lovely bits as well? Could you fill it with some raita?
Yeah, like I said earlier, if you wanted to make it into a lovely burrito,
Ooh,
like
yum.
Indian burrito.
Is anybody jealous?
And then again, you could just put some mixed leaves on there.
That looks so good. Smells even better.
Finish with a little bit of lime juice,
Why not?
the coriander,
Beautiful.
and then coriander into the rest one.
Nice.
So then, for my helper,
This is my portion.
so like they do on any TV show, the film crew always has to get fed straight afterwards.
This is why I'm the size of a house at the moment. That and the obvious other reason. Bob Newell says, I doubt whether you could have gone to the takeaway and back in the time it's taken to do this, and you know it's healthy stuff. That is,
Thank you very much. I'll send that money to you in a bit for doing that.
it's true, it's yum. So there's a bold version.
And there you go, paneer curry with mushroom rice, and presented a couple of ways.
Perfect. Yum.
Thank you very much for joining us. Sorry for running slightly over. Stay safe, and I hope you're all well, and see you all